Yes, it is Marvel Contest of Champions news for Monday, the 10th of December 2018. We've got a lot of mental stories, mainly one completely mental story. One that's kind of like so important to me. It's been years in the making, and I think for a lot of players and a lot of people that have appreciated and liked the game, they're like, things are getting interesting. But let's jump into the stories for today. Today's news kicks off with a difference of opinion on the 4-year anniversary calendar. As you know, these are the items that are currently in the calendar that you can get your hands on. And this calendar consists of a 3-star crystal to kick things off. We've then got some energy refills on day 2, some health potions on day 3, some gold crystals on day 4. Day 5 sees us with some more energy refills. We've got a fully formed tier 4 class catalyst crystal for day 6, and finally day 7 is 9,000 of the tier 2 alpha fragments. But this is the point where it divides opinion, whether or not this does show that it's a scalable reward or scalable calendars against the scheme of things with the game. To a degree, the answer is yes, but I do remember last year we did have in a calendar, the proper calendar for the month, a fully formed tier 2 alpha, which is something that would have been really great to see this year. But I guess we shouldn't all knock a freebie. One thing that seems an improvement on last year is the fact that we don't get the crystals for the signature stones. We actually get to choose what champions they go on to. So before it was a game of chance that maybe you wanted a load of tech, but for whatever reason you didn't get that from the crystals. This time around, these are generic signature stones. So that's something of a small positive. And also another positive is the amount of things you can get, and again scaling against what should be for players to have is an improvement on last year. Last year we saw things that were very much blasé and weren't that fantastic. But like I said, I do remember that we had a better month calendar than before. So yeah, there is sort of kind of improvements and non so improvements, but you know, that really happens with the game. Sometimes you get what you want, other times not so much. But for those who are frothing at the mouth, they're just so angry, there may be some positives in sight. Maybe, and quote the word maybe, there could be a Christmas calendar. I think I remember something happening last year, especially around the gifting event, and this went in last minute last year, and I suspect the same thing will be this year. And this is at the point where I eat humble pie and I'm kind of going, oh, I'm fairly confident with my thought process there, and I was actually wrong there. It turns out that there was a separate holiday calendar and I was wrong about the month side of things. So this is what last year's Christmas calendar looks like, and apologies for that little outburst there. My journalistic skills are lacking. Oh dear. But if Kabam turn it into the Santa Claus and they want to unload their sack on everybody, and that doesn't sound in any way, shape or form wrong, then please give me this for a second year, or maybe make it a little bit sweeter, you know what I mean. Next up, and let's talk about Darkhawk. There's two things to really talk about. It's the first thing, the lag aspect. That is really annoying. A lot of players seem to experience this. I know that every time I fight up against him, and it's only been as of today that I've not received any lag when I'm doing that initial fight. But for some other players, the lag is still there. For the second point of view, there is the Android problem. People are really having some really horrendous experiences with the game this month, which I do find very disappointing for a game that's meant to be across a lot of platforms. Well, Google Play and iTunes, lots of platforms. For those two platforms, it's good to have a real decent running. As we know, you need the top devices on Android to run the game in a decent way, and at the same time having an iOS device that's more newer does allow you to run the game in a much smoother fashion, even more so with an iPad Pro, something that I will be looking to get in the new year. Hopefully they go down in price. Money, money, money. The most freshest response from Kabam Vidius, who says that basically the team are looking into it. A lot of the information has been provided. There does seem to be some sort of interaction issue, and yeah, you could use a champion like Daredevil, but at the same time, I really want to use Medusa, and she seemed to work quite well, especially when it came to doing a lot of the master clear for me today. Before I even decide to go back to Uncollected, I want to make sure that Kabam have addressed this and they have looked into it. It does feel that it has a little bit of improvement as of today, but I can't categorically say that this is an improvement in the ongoing situation. So hopefully they can say, yes, we have sorted this out, we've identified it as being an issue, and we fixed it. So all other champions that you bring in will not have that lag at the start point, and also interactions with abilities and other ability reductions are going to be fine. Next up, we seem to have an issue with persistent charges. As you know, or if you're familiar with persistent charges, these are things that go from battle to battle, and largely they scale up. There will be something in the top left hand corner which will just have like a blue type lightning bolt, and then it will have a number, and that number will increase or decrease or have interaction. That's the main thing. But either way, the thing is, from battle to battle at the moment, persistent charges and persistent kind of scaling are not working, and this seems to be an ongoing issue. This was back in October when this first started, and it does look like something that is an ongoing thing, where people are pointing out that a go-to champion like Corvus Glaive is now not becoming very useful in certain situations because of this, which is really annoying. This may be something that's very device specific, but it's important to give that level of feedback. Go to the link in the description if you still have this problem, and let the developers know so they can look at this. Next up, and a slight bug in that people are getting the wrong titles for the amount of time that they've played the game. As you know, 4 years titles have gone out today to people's inboxes. So we've got that nice little 4-star Taskmaster, the signature stones, and the badges and the titles. So that's gone out. Great, but a lot of people that are saying played from day one are still getting Howling Commander, or people getting the wrong title. So if you have got that, do bear with Kabam, they are working on this. Kabam Mike even addresses this and says that they are working to get your correct title to you. Not that I think it matters to a lot of players, but it's still nice to see. So as you know, I had a crack at doing the predictions, and let's see how they charted. So as you can see here, 45 mil I predicted for Night Thrash at 5-star, the 4-star going for 13, well over 13 mil, and finally Cable going for 1.9, pretty high. And how did I fare with the predictions? Well, we've got the 5-star going for 43 mil, 2 mil off there, not too bad, Rich, give yourself a pat on the back. The second one is the 4-star Night Thrasher, which went for 10.3, so I was a bit off there with that, 3 mil off to be exact. But the fact is, that's good in some ways for people that have grinded out that champion. They may have had a sneaky grab on that one, so good for you. The 3-star, which we don't cover on the channel, and maybe we should do in the future, went for 1.38. And then we've also got Cable. Cable went for 1.67 mil. Not a huge amount there, so if you are looking to pick up that champion in the midweek, I'd probably say that's around about the same amount next for this one for round 2, 1.67 mil, 1.7 to be safe. And then you've got the 4-star Night Thrasher. I reckon that's going to be about 12 mil. It might go up a little bit, but people may not be wanting Night Thrasher that much. And finally, the 5-star version, I think around about the same. Maybe a slight drop down, but I would recommend another 45 mil to be safe if you are going for the champion for whatever reason. And okay, now we're on to our featured story of Marvel Contest of Champions news today. And that is the announcement, or the video announcement, or the video package of Silver Surfer. And you know, this has been building for years. I've been not working on this, but I've been working on the tease of it, or the is this rumor, is this fact thing for a few years now. And my arms are folded, so it probably means I'm defensive about something. But maybe I'll touch on that. But the fact is, obviously, a lot of people know that I was speaking with Gabe about a character that looked really familiar. Like, it looked really much like the Thing, and this has been a subject for a few videos, as well as puzzles, where we've talked about the idea of Silver Surfer and Galactus being potentially a villain for Act 6 and the kind of the end point of the story arc, and bringing this whole thing about the Battle Realm and the Contest of Champions sort of to a close. Now, I was completely like minding my own business, eating my dinner, thinking about what I'm going to be putting out for Marvel Contest of Champions news, and then all of a sudden, boom, this pings up to celebrate the 4 years. And first of all, I was looking at this image above my head with this kind of character here, and I was thinking to myself, oh, is that Galactus? But no, when you kind of like watch through it, you find out that it's like a sentinel of the, like an elder, not an elder, but kind of an elemental that's just kind of exploded into a load of kind of crystals. And obviously, familiar with the idea of the contest, the crystals hold significance. But to see Silver Surfer into the game or teased for the game, especially with such a big change in the Marvel cinematic universe and also the rights aspect and licensing of characters, meaning that you're going to see a lot in 2019 and obviously late 2018 of Fantastic Four characters. And is this something of a big thing for the game? I've talked about this in multiple videos. If you're new to the channel, then you're not familiar with this stuff, but people that are will know that I've been harping on for years about the idea of Galactus as the big boss. I entertained this idea back at the start of this year when I talked about the idea that maybe there could be a link between the Collector, the Grandmaster, Galactus, as well as Silver Surfer. This would seem like an amazing and fitting end to everything, especially with Doctor Doom. As the big link from Doctor Doom to the Contest of Champions is that the Battle Realm is actually Doctor Doom's, or the remnants of Doctor Doom's battle world. The whole kind of like Secret Wars type arc, there's some like real kind of interesting backstory to this. We did discuss this in yesterday's puzzle video just briefly, but it is a cool link and could bring together things like Doctor Doom and Silver Surfer and also Galactus and Fantastic Four and have this amazing end to Act 6. The story goes round circle. This is also an idea that I discuss in this video. It's kind of weird watching me talk and then bigger me talk. But the fact is, we talk about this in this video about Gabe's going, we need a bigger booth. And I make this kind of joke, blah, blah, blah. But the fact is, you don't get any bigger than Galactus. He's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, character in the Marvel universe. Which is then a perfect fit to link together characters like Silver Surfer, like Doctor Doom, like Fantastic Four, and so many other characters. The links that Silver Surfer has to like Elders of the Universe, it just comes together in a real nice story arc. The whole thing about Act 1 to Act 6, the creation of the contest to the point of end. This could be amazing for 2019 and does lead me to kind of feel really excited about the future of Marvel Contest of Champions. Obviously the future being that, okay, when Act 6 is done, what's next? But I'm sure there's going to be something that's going to be completely fantastic and a big change. So the kind of idea, the cadence, the meta of the game is going to change. And that's really exciting to know, because if they just stagnated and went, oh, we'll just do Act 7, then people would kind of go, oh, okay, so it just continues on, it's more difficult, blah, 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 blah. But they're going to change it up. So yeah, I think this is going to be great, and I'm really happy 4 years and the future of the champions. So that has been your special Marvel Contest of Champions news, especially looking at Silver Surfer. Like, I really can't wait to see what's going to happen. And at the same time, you know, what is this going to be like a major start to the year with Fantastic Four? We did the puzzle yesterday, and then the video drops for 4 years. I don't know if there's no coincidence with that. I probably will be completely wrong on some other stuff, but still, it's good to feel that maybe you were onto something last year. So yeah, it'd be quite exciting if I make it to New York Comic Con this year and get to meet Gabe and just say when everything's been released. Were you a little bit worried if I got everything right? Or kind of like he'll say, you were close but no cigar. Don't know, quite excited to have that meet with him and discuss comic books and story arcs. Either way, thank you very much for watching today's edition of Marvel Contest of Champions News. Make sure you subscribe for more news by putting as well the notifications on, the little bell icon. Like, share and subscribe, and I shall catch you in the next one. Bye bye for now.